My name is Daniel Jake Edwards, and I chose to interview Mr. Malachi Elmore-Davis. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, not a problem. So, hello, my name is Malachi Elmore-Davis. I am a second year student at the University of South Florida, and I am a music education major. I have been teaching well over about 4 years in my career already. I have built a program to make master classes affordable for everyone in need, anyone who was wanting to listen to world-class musicians and artists all across the world. I made that at a very affordable rate at a young age, and it kind of helped me solidify my spot in the tuba euphonium community as we know it today. And at the moment, I have a private lesson studio of about 14 kids, ranging from middle schoolers to high schoolers, even some in college as well. So it's pretty cool to see what I have been able to do early. And yeah, no, that's all that Malachi is doing so far.
You're pretty active in the community. So my first question for you today is, what does success mean to you?
Oh, good question. Good question. So, I'm not one to believe too much into luck. I feel like everything has a reason, everything is built for a reason and stuff like that. And what I was told at a very young age was success is when preparation meets opportunity. You can't have one without the other. You can be very well prepared, but if you're in a bad environment, you'll never get the opportunity to be successful. Versus if you are just throwing a bunch of opportunities left and right in the right environment. But if you don't prepare, say if you have a recital lined up and you're not, you don't know the music, it's not going to be very successful. So
Word.
opportunity meets when preparation meets opportunity, that's when success always comes about. And that's how I've tried to live out my life, especially my music career when it comes to um, either giving master classes or performing or anything like that. It's been really, really cool stuff going on from there.
Word. That's a great answer. Very well thought out. So second question is, it's kind of in the ballpark of success again, more pertaining to you. It's, do you believe that you are successful, and or when do you think you will be successful in the music industry?
Good question. So I felt like, well, just in previous to the other question, I feel like there wasn't really too much luck when it came about to what happened in my career. Sorry, had a little thing going on right there. Um, Basically, um, I felt like a lot of my success, especially as a younger kid in high school and stuff like that, came from knowing the right people, being in the right places at the right times. It was all about that. And, introducing yourself when a lot of kids don't do that. Like I remember I was in an honor band at USF and no other kid was doing this. I shook the audition judge's hand as soon as I was done auditioning.
Mm-hmm.
No one did that. And I can tell you that I played a very horrible audition, but I made it. And there was a lot of people there who were better than me. And I was listening and stuff like that. It was all about doing the right things for the right people, you know, and letting yourself be known because, you know, not looking the same as everyone else already does can either do you a favor or it can do you some injustice at the same time. So definitely having that good first impression, making sure that you're on top of things, being punctual, everything like that.
Yeah.
I felt like that definitely built the way for me to go up and built to where I was able to have a studio at the age of 19, which is kind of crazy, and build your own programs, be your own entrepreneurial musician is really impressive to a lot of different people, especially when you feel like you were able to build it on your own terms.
Mm-hmm.
So, would I say that I'm successful? Not really, not yet. I'm not to exactly the goal to where I want to be, but I definitely feel like I'm finding a lot of good things along the journey as well.
Word. That's a great answer. Love that. So the third question would be, who are your idols, and why are they your idols?
Yeah, yeah. So I have a few role models. I'm still a student myself, as much as the teaching that I do, I still very well call myself a student, and I want to do that for as long as I can. Um, but I have a few role models. The person who got me into euphonium was Demondre Thurman because he was the only black euphonium player that I seen in eighth grade and middle school and stuff like that. So I was like, ooh, I didn't know I could sound like that, or
Mm-hmm.
people like us can be this good on this instrument because it wasn't something that I seen. And people only know successful things from what's around them. So when I was able to see that, I was like, oh, okay, this is normal. It was
Mm-hmm.
weird going to predominantly white schools all my life and stuff like that. You never really see stuff like that. So being reassured on how to be successful as a black person in the music industry is really awesome. And that's what definitely led the way up there. As far as now, I have a few role models. I have my good friend and role model, Jermaine Fryer, who just graduated with his master's from Peabody Conservatory of Music. And I have Bobby Barron. He is the one of the euphoniumists in the Navy band, who is really helping me out in terms of my sound, where I want to go with my career and stuff like that. And I am looking to talk to Lance LeDuc and hopefully a transfer to Carnegie Mellon University and really try to get some cool stuff popping on over there and really build the career that I really want to. So it's going to be some really cool stuff popping up. And those are definitely the guys who are really helping me along the
Mm-hmm.
way in terms of building that up. It's really cool.
And it seems like you're very well connected throughout the entire tuba you've seen, you know?
Connections is what it's all about. If you can't connect, you won't connect.
Yeah, for real. The fourth question is, how has music impacted your life, like, other than the stereotypical, music helped me through these problems and stuff like that? Like, how
Yeah.
has it impacted your life personally?
Yeah. So, you know, I knew that I wanted to go into music when I was sitting in an honor band rehearsal, I believe my junior year with Dr. McCutcheon and stuff like that. And he said, if you cannot imagine yourself doing anything else, do music. And, you know, at that time, I didn't know how to do anything else but music. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? So I felt like there was no option for me. You know what I mean? So I went into it thinking like, oh yeah, this is for me. But as more as I went through the years and went through the motions of music, I was like, oh man, this is hard and stuff like that. And then if you put the horn down for a while, you notice it was like, oh man, I'm real bored. I feel like I got nothing to do. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So it didn't necessarily feel like a hobby at that point. It felt like a connection to build other people into um, their own best self at the same time. So I figured out how to use um, my social grab on the internet and build up a social media that helped influence other people just through the notes that I played through the horn. And
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that was really powerful in the sense of if all it takes is for me to post a video every day and get someone else inspired, like someone else inspired me, that's pretty awesome. And I felt like if it can transform that into something bigger, something better, especially for keeping every student motivated or to be the best musician that they can or the best person that they can at the end of the day, just by putting in the little work, putting in the little motivational quotes and stuff like that. I feel like that's something that I'd want to do. And it's something that has impacted my own life because it's helped me accountable from my own students, from who they see through the screen versus who they want to be once they grow up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely a cool thing. It's something that definitely keeps me going building um, as far as building my music career and building my personal life into the
Mm-hmm.
way I want that to mold.
Word, word, word. And the final question I have for you, I don't want to hold you. I know you're a busy man. This is, what advice would you give to the current and future generations of musicians?
Ooh, current and future generations of music. Good question. Okay, so I've had a couple times to think about like exactly what we're missing in music now. What I mean, it's not like I don't want to be that old head who's just like, man, if we just had this, everyone. It's not even really like that. But I feel like it's a thing that a lot of musicians aren't doing. That if they started doing, I feel like the level of musicianship would be just so much higher, and that is to literally um, to just listen and engage more outside of their own practice room, because you can be the best player in the room all day long, but sometimes the best player doesn't always get the job. It's about who you know, who you're able to talk to, how can you talk to a large group like for an extended period of
Yeah.
time, stuff like that. And being able to, I've met so many phenomenal players that just cannot teach worth anything at all. And it's the most frustrating thing to see, because I feel like music is supposed to be really just a thing that you're able to connect with and share with other people. And I feel like there's so much great potential within the people who can just play the horn all day long, but the people who just can't market that, the people who can't necessarily mold that into what they want to be. It's a small field. So I feel like just being able to do all aspects of what you're supposed to do, maybe outside the horn, conducting, teaching, giving seminars, making your own program, for example, being able to do stuff like that. I feel like this entire generation and even the future generations, because granted, the generation before us wasn't doing stuff as nearly as cool or as being able to make an Instagram account and make your own clothing line and stuff like that, like my friend
Mhm.
Natalie Colgrove was doing. There was no one doing that 20 years ago. And granted, there was no handbook for us. Really, there was just about, oh, play the horn this way. We had YouTube to be able to look at recordings and stuff like that. So as technology advances, there's a lot more opportunities opening. So I really encourage the current and future generations to really take advantage of what's on the internet and how to take advantage of who's out there, who's teaching, and definitely getting an idea of who you can mold yourself and grow into the person that you would want to be.
I 100% agree, dude. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great answers. Great answers all around. All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem. Yeah, this was fun. This was cool.